We started class by looking at this image and trying to figure out what it is. We thought maybe it could be an atlas, and the answer was no, it's not an atlas because atlases are books, and this is not a book. We wondered if it could be a banana, and the answer is no, it can't be a banana. A banana is a kind of fruit, and this is not a kind of fruit. We also wondered if it might be a globe, and it comes pretty close. A globe is a kind of map. A globe shows the whole world, and this shows pretty much the whole world, but a globe is round. A globe is supposed to be shaped like the world. And this is flat, and so we found out that this is a map. Then the question for us was, well, what kind of map is it? And to answer that question, we need to think about all the different kinds of maps there might be. There are political maps that show the boundaries of countries. There are geographical maps that show oceans, mountains, and rivers. They're all different kinds of maps. So we looked at a couple. Here's a big map that shows the whole globe, and it shows us where there is land here, and it shows us where there is water. What would we call this map? We'd probably call it an outline map, because all it is an outline of the places that are land and the places that are water. And we can see where there's land and we can see where there's water, but it doesn't tell us anything about these places. The names of countries, continents, the names of the water, what kind of water it is, what kind of land it is, mountains or deserts. None of that is here. It's just shapes. So we looked at some maps that are a little bit more particular. We compared these two maps, and they're, again, it's kind of like the outline map, but they're quite different now. They have labels on them. And we saw that this map is a geographical map because this map tells us geographical information. It tells us the names of the bodies of water. It shows us, actually you can see arrows where the water tends to flow. It shows us something about the geography of areas. We can see ice down here in Antarctica, ice up here in Greenland. We can see mountains down along the western coast of the United States and all the way down the west coast of South America. We can see a desert here in the Sahara in the north of Africa. So this tells us about the geography of places. And then we saw another map over here, and this map is a political map. This map doesn't tell us anything about where there are trees or mountains. It does tell us, though, where each country in the world is, and it shows us the name of each country. And these are political boundaries that people create. So then we looked again at this map, and what does it show us? Sort of an outline map. Doesn't tell us the names of countries. It doesn't show us where there are mountains or deserts or rivers, but it does show us something. And eventually we figured out that this map is showing us something about Facebook. Who's using Facebook where? We can see the bright areas where a lot of people are online, and a lot of lines showing us where people are connecting to each other with Facebook. Who's talking to who? The people in the United States are talking to other people in the United States, or maybe they're talking to people in Europe or people over in Africa, and we can see some of those patterns of how people use Facebook. And then we looked at this map. We had to figure out, what is this showing us? It doesn't tell us the names of countries. It doesn't tell us anything about deserts or geography, but it does show us something about these places. And as we looked at this map and we thought about the sizes, and the sizes of all the pieces of land are wrong. They're not the shapes that these pieces of land actually are. And we realized the message is in the sizes, kind of like how bright the lights are on the Facebook map. Instead of brightness, now we see sizes. And eventually we figured out that these sizes are about money. The more money you have, the bigger the country is. And we could see where the money is. And the money's here in Japan, the money's here in Western Europe in particular, the money's here in the United States. And then we looked at another map. And this map also shows us money. This map, you will remember, is from the year 1500. And this map is from the year 2005. and it shows us where the money was. In the year 1500, there was a lot more money in India and China, and a lot less money in the Americas in particular, more money up here in North Africa. And then by the year 2005, essentially by today, things have changed. The money's gone from Africa. India's become quite poor. Even China's become relatively poor. This big green dot here is Taiwan, which is a separate political entity from China. On the map up above, you can't really see, you can see Taiwan. There's Taiwan. So we had to think about what changed. How did all this money move? How did it get to these new places? And for us in our class, as we look at world history, starting from about the year 1500, 1492, when Columbus gets to the Americas, up to today, we are going to see all these changes happen. And of course, we want to know, why did these changes happen? And that's something that we will learn about in our class.